thought today we'd have a chat about looking after your greyhound's teeth. It's a sad fact that many greyhounds have problems with their teeth, and in fact in a recent study of nearly 5,500 pet greyhounds, they found that 39% of them had dental problems. Now the chances are you'll need to have a dental for your dog done at the vets at some point in their lifetime. And of course there is the risk from the anaesthetic, and it's going to be quite an expensive procedure. So what's important as owners is that we do our best to make those dental procedures at the vets as few and far between as possible. So the problems with the dog's mouth are much the same as they will be with our own mouth. When we eat food, there are traces of that food left between the teeth, and that causes bacteria to grow, which can cause bad breath, just as it would with humans. It also causes plaque to build up, that white deposit that you might notice on your own teeth if you don't clean them. And if that is left, it hardens into a yellowish tartar or calculus. And sometimes it can be hard to spot that in the first instance, because the yellow colour is not that different to the colour of the dog's tooth. So it might kind of creep up on you as a problem that you haven't realised was there. Of course, this is associated with a build-up of bacteria, and if this occurs, particularly around the gum line, then the gums can become inflamed and sore, and that can cause the gums to recede. Now, if the gums recede, you can get bacteria growing above the tooth where the tooth joins the gum, and you can get pockets forming in that area. And if this happens, the vet is going to need to take that tooth out. So ultimately, poor dental care is going to result in extractions. And this one here, she's had a very bad mouth ever since I got her. She's not got many left on the top row anymore. She's had most of them taken out in that middle bit. She's got most of the bottom teeth, but a lot of the top ones have had to go, just because her mouth was quite poor when I first adopted her, and that's just the way it is, and there wasn't anything I could do about that. What's important moving forward is we look after the teeth that she's got left. So there are a number of things we can do to look after their teeth, and the first thing that we can think about is mechanical methods. So any sort of toys that have got ridges for the dog to chew are going to massage the gums and help remove the plaque. So things like this ball with the little spikes on, or things like this rope toy, though they do tend to find this is kind of boring. It doesn't get played with very much. So it does depend how keen your dog is to play with rope toys. The other things you can use to help the dog mechanically remove tartar from their teeth is things to chew, such as horns. This is a buffalo horn. This is a bit more popular than the rope toy. And I also have hiding behind me, because it's very popular, is this ostrich bone. And these have become very popular in greyhound circles, and it's a dried bone. It's been air dried, not cooked, so it's safe for the dog to chew, and chewing on the bone will help break up the tartar and clean their teeth naturally. Now, you can use something like this with your dog. You could also use fresh marrow bones from the butchers, but remember, you never want to feed the dog any cooked bones, because there is the risk of those splintering and hurting the dog in their gut. Yes, we'll save that for later. That's why it's hiding behind me. So those are some of the mechanical methods that we can use to help keep the teeth clean. More passive methods would involve something you can put on the teeth to help prevent the plaque building up. So we've got a plaque spray that you can get from the shop at Greyhound Trust Hall Green that cleans the teeth, reduces bad breath. This being a spray can be aversive to some dogs, and this little lady in particular really hates that spray, so that's not something I would use on her. But it also comes in a gel form that can just be squeezed on, and this is a bit like a doggy version of a mouthwash. You can also get additives that you put in their water, much like a mouthwash, which I haven't got here at the moment, but that's something else you could consider. Additives that you can put in their food. There are various products that contain a seaweed called Ascophyllum nodosum, and this has been shown in research to reduce the tartar and plaque and to improve the immune function of the dog. It also helps reduce the bacteria in the mouth. So although this isn't something you put in the mouth, it's something you add to the food, it is known to have an effect on the dog system such that it improves the oral health. And this is most commonly sold as Plaque Off, which is a powder, and you just add just a few tiny scoops to the food. It's got instructions on it as to how many. If you want a more economical version, you can buy a kelp powder like this one. You just need to check that it contains ascophyllum nodosum, and I buy this instead because with having 5 dogs I get through quite a lot. Yes, we do, don't we, Daisy? So that's something you could add to their food as well to help improve their oral health. The key thing with our own health with our teeth is of course brushing, and the same applies to dogs, because brushing the dog's teeth is going to help reduce the plaque and reduce the chance of that plaque turning into tartar. Now, we shouldn't brush a dog's teeth with human toothpaste because that's not very good for dogs. They have their own doggy versions, and I like to buy one that has enzymes in it. So I've got this one here that's quite a cheap one, that's about £3. This is a dearer one, this one's about £9, and they're flavoured with things that dogs tend to like. I find they're quite palatable to the dogs, and you can brush with those using something like this finger toothbrush or a long handled brush like this one, can't we, Daisy? And because of the enzymes in the toothpaste, then it doesn't matter if you don't get into every corner, every nook and cranny, because the enzymes are going to be doing the work for you. So if your dog doesn't like the brushing, you can just introduce the toothpaste into their mouth with your finger, and as they lick and mouth, it will move it around and it will make some improvement even if you can't physically brush. So that's our things that we can do on a daily basis. One thing that you might have heard about is ultrasound toothbrushing, and this is something I do with mine as well, and it's something I offer as a service. The ultrasound toothbrush looks rather like an electric toothbrush for us, and it doesn't actually appear to do a great deal. That's it working, you know, not a lot seems to happen apart from an interesting noise that Gandalf's looking at. But what it does is it produces ultrasound waves, and this has the effect of starting to break up the tartar. So with regular use, it's going to reduce the tartar on the teeth and you can get them clean again. That's not going to probably happen in just one session, but it will work eventually. But a particular benefit that I think this has for the Greyhound is that those ultrasound waves are going to kill the bacteria. So it helps. What have you spotted? I think we're after the ostrich bone again. So the ultrasound waves are going to kill the bacteria, so that's going to reduce the chance of gum recession, of bad breath, and help ultimately the dog to keep their teeth. So that's some of the different things that you can look into to help look after your dog's teeth. I think the ostrich bone is probably the most popular with the dog, but of course they can't have that every day. So there's some different options for you to have a look at as well. I think that's it on teeth cleaning. We'll be back in another video to talk some more about looking after your Greyhound.